Honestly, I feel like I'm just at a place where I'm just confident in my own skin. You know what I mean? You know, my career goes up and down and up and down, and what I've learned, whether I'm up on the up like right now or the down moments, just to enjoy it all. It's just such a privilege to be a part of the UFC, to be the light heavyweight champion of the UFC, and man, we got the best fans in the world, and it just feels good, man. I really just feel so alive.
You brought your family out for the first time. Why was that decision made?
Well, my oldest daughter, Leah, wants to be famous so bad. So I just thought I'd give them the opportunity to just feel it, and hopefully it inspires them to work really hard in school and pursue their dreams.
You know, this morning we did finally see the pre-fight drug test results. The picograms were there.
Yeah.
At this point, it's expected, but I wonder, I mean, like, is there a part of you that when those come out, you're just like, damn it, I wish these had nothing in them?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, every time it's like a oh darn it moment, but I'm comfortable with the idea that it's going to be a part of my career, and I don't know how long this is going to last. What makes me sleep good at night is knowing that I've submitted myself to every drug test. I am getting tested by 3 of the most powerful agencies in the world. I've never avoided a test, and I just feel like the more I am accessible, the more data they'll understand, they'll have in the situation, and the more everybody will understand. You know, I'm figuring out that, you know, there's baseball players in Major League Baseball that has the same exact supplement inside of them that are posting as well. I just found out there's another UFC fighter that has the same exact situation, and between Major League Baseball and the UFC, I think they're coming to the conclusion that these drug testing agencies are too powerful, and they're detecting things that don't help athletes at all, and therefore they're allowing athletes to continue to compete. So I know that I'm almost the leader in this whole development, and I'm comfortable in this space. I just wish fans would not just look at the headlines and actually clicked on the links and read and learned what was really going on. But I've set myself free from any level of embarrassment. I have no shame. I've said many times that I've never knowingly done anything to do any type of sports enhancing, you know, drugs or whatnot. So now I'm just here getting back to what's most important, and that's my 13th world title, making the fans happy, and you know, trying to defeat a really promising young fighter.
The terminology, the title offense, not defense.
Yeah, we call it.
Where did that come on? What was this?
Yeah, Brandon Gibson started that a long time ago. He's just like, you know, I feel like a lot of times when a fighter is undefeated, they're trying to protect their undefeated record, and they start fighting defensively, and they start trying to fight not to lose. And our mentality is we're not protecting the belt, we're attacking more belts. And so that's the mentality, and that's what it's been.
There's a lot of respect between you and Anthony for this fight. In the last couple, it hasn't been like that.
Yeah, it hasn't.
Do you prefer that? Do you like not having to do the trash talk?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's a lot more. It's definitely more refreshing to not have the trash talk. I understand when you talk a lot of trash, the pay-per-view numbers go through the roof. But in my situation, you know, I got enough people who think I'm an asshole. So the last thing I need to be doing is cursing someone out on TV. So yeah, this is definitely really refreshing, and I'm enjoying it.
Anthony was up here a few minutes ago. He said something very interesting. He said that he felt like Cormier and Gustin were kind of distracted by the picogram stuff and all that stuff, and it kind of hurt them in the fight, and he's not focusing on that. What do you think about him saying that?
I think that they were focused on the picogram situation a lot, but I also think that these guys are world-class athletes, and no matter what you talked about leading up to the fight, I'm sure they were training with their whole hearts, and I'm sure their coaches made sure they were locked in. I mean, Cormier is an Olympic-level athlete, and I just won't allow someone to blame what the pre-fight storyline was on a defeat.
John, when you face someone who, like Anthony Smith, who has been the places he's been, he's overcome what he's overcome, it's almost like he's playing with house money now. Like, is that an inherently dangerous place to fight?
What do you mean? Because he's such an underdog? He has nothing to lose? Is that what you mean? Yeah. It's a dangerous position for me to fight someone like that. Because he has nothing to lose. He can go out there, close his eyes, and just swing for the fences. I wouldn't advise you doing that. Yeah, he has nothing to lose in this situation. To believe it or not, I don't really realize why so many people are counting this guy out. He had 30 amateur fights. He had 40 professional fights. That's 70 fights. This guy is by far the most experienced guy I've ever fought, and he's the youngest guy I've ever fought in the UFC. So we look at him as a legitimate threat, and I know he's using that against me somehow, saying, why does Jon keep saying that he's taking me serious? Why does Jon keep saying that he's taking me serious? Like, as if I'm trying to convince myself that I'm taking myself, the fight serious. But my coaches know that I'm taking the fight serious. My body knows that I'm taking the fight serious. And he'll see on Saturday that I took this fight serious.
He said that he woke up today at 206 pounds already. So
Right.
He's already almost on weight.
Yeah.
How much are you cutting? And is that a disadvantage for him being that small already?
So right now I weigh 215 pounds, which is a great weight to be at this point. That's a more standard weight for a light heavyweight to be at this time. I'm going to lose probably 5 pounds tonight. I'm going to lose 5 pounds of water weight in the morning, and that's going to be really easy. As you can see right now, I'm not sucked out. I feel great. My energy's high, and I think it will be a little bit of a disadvantage. I predict that I'll be lean tomorrow and lighter. I won't be showing up around 226. I'm sorry, on Saturday I won't be like 226 or anything like that. I'll probably like more like 220 when I actually fight him. And he's going to get a full light heavyweight that's lean and fast, and I think I'm going to get a kind of a big middleweight. So this will work against them. I had a lot of coffee. I'm sorry, guys.
Jon, these test results from earlier, they're outside your control.
They're 100% outside of my control.
And staying extra with the fans, staying extra with media yesterday. Are you trying to do everything in your control to make this a positive environment and take things away from the negative?
Absolutely, absolutely. I've been a part of a lot of negativity in my career between, fighting with DC on stage and people accusing me of this and that or whatnot, and finally I'm just like, I'm on team positivity. I believe positivity conquers all. It does. The power of your intentions conquers all, and my intentions is to have a great weekend, to make a lot of fans happy, and to bring that new design of that UFC belt back to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Jon, I noticed earlier in your career when you would face off, you would never look your opponent in the eye. But with Anthony, you're looking at him straight in the eye. You're getting really close. Why the switch?
Well, it varies. Some opponents I look them in the eyes, and some I don't. Gustafsson believed he was my kryptonite, so I didn't look him in the eyes just to let him know, you're not as big as you think you are. And I look Anthony in the eyes just to let the world knows that I'm taking him serious. Because he's such a huge underdog, for me to look past him, I feel like it would be a very disrespectful and arrogant thing to do. Where the rest of the world don't take him seriously, I look him in the eyes to let him know, despite what the odds makers say, you are getting my full and undivided attention. So that's the answer.
Today you found out about the news. You found out today, correct?
Yeah, I just found out about the picograms.
What's going on internally? Is there a moment where you're like, wait, is this happening again? Is it fight off? How do you process it initially?
When it happened in my last fight, I actually broke down crying, and I gave one of my buddies a hug, and I just cried in his arms, and it felt great. He was just like, Jon, you've been through too much to slow down now, When I found out the last event was canceled and being switched over, I broke down crying, man. It really hurt, and I'm at a place now where I've been hurt so many times, and so many things have happened. I've caused a lot of my own pain, and there's been a lot of pain inflicted that wasn't in my control, and I just feel like I'm just so comfortable with this scenario now. I'm not going to allow anything to hurt me anymore. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows that I have something in my system that is pulsing, and I feel like the majority of the fans that are actually going to take the time to read, which are the ones that actually matter right now, I think they know what's going on. So I take out any responsibility for this whole thing, and I'm not going to let it bend me or break me.
Jon, you've been tested, at least once a week since the last fight, at least,
Yeah,
not more.
at a minimum, but
What is that
most weeks were like 3 times a week.
Is it disruptive? I mean, when do they show up? I mean, how does that work? Is it
Yeah, it can be really crappy. I'm really fortunate that all the collectors are very respectful, but they can come anywhere from, I've had many times they've come at 6 o'clock a.m., and which is very disturbing to my training. And then there's other times where they'll come like 8 o'clock at night. There's been times where I'm having team dinners or dinner with my family, and they'll call me and say, hey, Jon, where are you? And hey, I'm over here at Applebee's or whatever, and they'll literally come and sit at the table next to me, which is, it can be very embarrassing, but they're just doing their job. They're just sample collectors, and I got to do my job by following the rules.
Go to the bathroom at Applebee's and take a sample?
I swear that has happened. Not Applebee's specifically, but yes, this has happened.
Jon, this is your
Yeah, I think my next few fights are going to tell a lot about my legacy. Like I said, Anthony Smith is the first guy in the UFC that I fought that was actually younger than me. I've beaten a lot of extremely talented athletes in their prime. But Anthony is younger, and I'm excited to answer questions to myself. How am I going to do with this next wave that's coming? You know, the Anthony Smiths, the Thiago Santoses, the Corey Andersons, the Johnny Walkers. These guys are young, they're hungry, and they're dream chasers. So I think my best years are ahead of me. This is the years where I need to kick it up even to a higher level to remain at the position I'm in.
Two more questions.
John, this is your quickest turnaround since UFC 126, 128. You became champion. You beat Bader in February. You fought Rashad just like less than 2 months later. And you sort of give off the vibe of that young Jon Jones now. You know, in this day and age, it feels like everyone's waiting around for a money fight, the super fight. They win the belt and they sit out for 8 months. You're coming back 2 months later. Do you feel more like that young, tender Jon Jones who was just saying, like, get me the next fight, as opposed to sitting around and waiting for that money fight?
I do kind of feel like my younger self. You know, I feel set free from a lot of things that's happened. I've finally learned how to forgive myself for a lot of things, and so I feel reborn in a way. And I feel like I have the second half of my career, and the question is, what are you going to do with the second half of your career? My second half, I vow to respect myself better, respect my body, respect my team, respect the organization and the fans, and just try to do better. And I know a great start to that is staying in the gym, staying busy. Not like I said, we don't look at title defenses, we look at title offenses. So to sit on the throne and to make everyone wait and be bougie and talk about, I don't want to fight him, or maybe there should be an interim belt, or maybe I should entertain heavyweight fights and all this crap, it's not fair to anybody. The man's next in line, you give him what he wants, and that's an opportunity to get that ass kicked.
John, I want to ask you about one final question. Even earlier, you were talking about how easy it is for you to make this weight cut to 205. Why do you think so many people are calling for you and want you to go to heavyweight?
I think people want me to go to heavyweight because, quite frankly, they want to see me lose or get close to it or take some serious damage. And at heavyweight, the risk goes up tremendously. These guys are a lot bigger than me. And they say all the time, when you get a talented little guy versus a talented big guy, the odds are in the big guy's favor, right? So I think that's the pressure. I don't think it's fair, really, because I've always been a light heavyweight. Despite who the champion's been, I've never challenged anybody at heavyweight. And I feel like I'll move up to heavyweight on my own terms when I feel like the UFC's playing ball with me contractually to entertain that. No one's entertaining any idea of switching a contract for any super fights. So we're just kind of stuck at this spot here, fighting at light heavyweight.